Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn. I'm going to start off by apologising if I don't sound quite my usual self. It's because I don't feel quite my usual self. I have been suffering with the flu, and although I'm over the worst of it, it's still lingering in certain ways. But I really wanted to get on with this because I actually started preparation for this video before I got sick. And I thought enough was enough. We needed to make some progress. So when I finished filming the last video I filmed, I looked around and thought, I need to tidy up. And as I was putting a few bits away and that kind of thing, I started to think, there's a lot on my table that I need to finish off, to move on with, so that I can clear things out of my way. And so that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. I'm going to attempt to finish a few things off that have been sitting around the table for a while, and hopefully end up with a tidier workspace. The bit you see is generally the only bit that's clear. That's how it goes, I'm afraid. So I've identified a few things that I want to get on with, and that's what we're going to do. There are a few things on my table that are there ready for the next part of my 1/48 scale build. Those I'm fine with. I've pulled those together from a few places, and they're there ready and waiting. I should probably have them somewhere other than on my tabletop, but you know how it goes. But there's other things that have been there a lot longer. For instance, these. This is the pattern I made for one of the shelf units inside of my treehouse. I've actually, before I got sick, I started working on the top piece for that. That was about as far as I got, was working some pieces out for that. Something I need to get on with, need to get done. I've got a pile of animal heads. If you've seen my previous video where I did some faux taxidermy, not long after doing that video, I got hold of some more plastic animals for not very much money at all. I beheaded them. Did I do anything with them? No, I just dumped them on my table. So they need plaques to go on, so that at some point I can have a taxidermy wall. Not sure where that's going to go, but yeah. Also for the treehouse project, I'd pulled out these various bottles and packets that I thought I could adapt, repaint, relabel, that kind of thing. Had I done anything? No, I dumped them on the table. There might even be some other bits of some other projects on here. I think these are the main ones that I'm going to look at today, or in this video anyway. I think it's going to take a bit longer than today because of how I'm feeling, but I need to get them done. So if I get them done, I can then tidy things up and move on to something else. I've even got the next bauble for the Glass Baubles series, sitting there looking at me. Yeah, I'm not doing very well at the moment, am I? Both in feeling sick and in actually clearing up after myself. So that's what we're going to attempt, is we're going to attempt to sort out the faux taxidermy and do a bit of work on the treehouse, which I wasn't planning on doing, but I think I'd actually put it off because those shelves are a bit on the fiddly side. Well, actually, a bit on the fiddly side is the understatement. That bottom space, because it tapers up as well as being curved, is a bit of a nightmare. And I think that's why I put it aside. But let's see if we can do something with it today. I decided to start with the most straightforward task, which was giving these guys plaques so they could go on the wall. And I've made those really simply. I die cut some ovals, 2 for each one, painted them black, and then I've edged them with a little bit of gold. Quite straightforward, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these on to there. Really straightforward, not too difficult at all. I've gone for 2 layers. I think I went for more when I did the original one, but I've looked everywhere for him and I cannot find my tiger. So we're just going to go with this, and at least then I can say that they are done. So I got some of my glue and I'm going to stick them down as appropriate. The elephant is quite straightforward because I didn't actually have to cut the head off the elephant to persuade them apart, but I didn't actually have to do too much in the way of surgery. So I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to pop this on, try and get it about level, and pop it down there. And then I'm just going to repeat this with the other 3, and I'll show you those in a moment. I have got these glued in place and I'm quite happy with them. They may get a little bit of some kind of additional work before I decide to put them into a project. The colouring might need touching up, that kind of thing. I'm also thinking that the zebra's head is a bit on the small side and the angle doesn't work too well, but you live and learn. I'm pleased though, because they are at least ready to go into one of my done boxes. And I can clear them off the table, which was the aim. The main project that there seemed to be bits for on my table was my treehouse. Now, when I filmed my last treehouse video, I established that I can't work on it in this location because it's too big. And to be fair, that is one of the reasons why I've sort of put it to one side. However, I've got the template that I made for the shelf unit. Now, I made one shelf unit which is this one. It's just pieces of cereal box cut to fit the shape of the tree trunk, and I think that will work. And I've actually been working on this one. Now, I'd cut the base piece that was actually already, and I made my top, and I've made a rather basic looking piece that actually fits fairly well. It's not a perfect fit, but it will work. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to finish these off. Now, as you might have noticed, I'm having problems with coughing. So if the video seems a little bit stop-starty, that's the reason why. What I'm going to start off by doing is, because I've got various places where I have used double layers of the cereal board, I'm going to go around the edges with some glue, and that will strengthen the edges. It will also smooth them off quite a bit. So I'm going to paint over it. It won't be quite so obvious. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to have a look at what colour to paint them. I think I'm probably going to paint them something fairly natural, but I'm not sure what yet. So you'll probably know as soon as I do. I gave up trying to film yesterday because I kept coughing. Now, hopefully I've got the cough under control. However, now I've injured my wrist. It's my left one, but it is really painful. So I'm going to see how much more I can do. I did get these painted yesterday in amongst the coughing, but as I say, I couldn't film anything. And I went with a brown. I started with a black undercoat, so it gave me a darker finish to it. And these actually work really, really well inside the treehouse. Now I'm going to try and reposition things a bit so I can show you how they look inside the treehouse. Fingers crossed that is going to work. This is not the best angle by any means, but it does at least mean that I can show you the shelves in situ, and as you can see, they fit pretty well. Now if I move this around this way, you should now be able to see the little one on the other side. And yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. Obviously, once it's all filled up, there's going to be some bits hanging and the shelves are going to be full. I've already got boxes that I started making previously that will go in there because I want it to be quite full. I should also point out that I have actually started sticking these pieces on down here, the baskets and so forth, over this side. I did that yesterday as well. So I think it's time to look at some of the other bits on here that need working on and see where else I can get with it. I just wanted to show you that I have put some paint onto the birdhouse. Well, it was a birdhouse moulded onto the tree that I covered with some cereal box, and I've put some paint on. Just a basic coat of paint for the moment, but it's a start. And then obviously I will do some details on there in the future. I decided that logically my next move was to work on these bottles and packages, because I can start to use them to dress the shelves. And as you can see, I have actually started with this one. I had 2 sacks of flour, and I have just stuck them into place on there. I didn't bother relabeling them because they were going to go out of the way. And then I added some labels to the smaller packet and to the bottles. Now all I did with those is I took some paper, and this is paper from like a child's drawing pad. It is not very thick at all. It is thinner than my usual printer paper, and I normally just use it as a piece for working on. What I did is I used a water-based marker in this instance to age the paper, and then I made my little labels from it. I just cut the pieces out, and all I've done is I've written on them by hand with a very, very fine pen. It's the finest nib that I've been able to, that I've been able to acquire just off the shelf. And they've all got new little labels. Not the best bottles, they're a little bit weird material. What I did, the other thing I did is once I stuck the label on, I put a little bit of tape over the top of each one. Now the tape I've used is Scotch tape, and it's what we used to refer to as magic tape, because it stays very see-through, and doesn't tend to leave the sticky behind. So I'm going to put these pieces, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it now. I'm going to glue these into place. I have been looking, I've got some other pieces that I saved from my shop. I'd got some, yes, I'll think what they are in a minute. I'd got some jars and things that I kept, that I made, some of them from beads and some of them from some aquarium pipe. And for the life of me, I cannot find them at the moment. I've had them recently, but I cannot find them now. So I'm probably going to put these bits aside for the time being and try and locate those, or maybe make some new jars and things that can go onto the shelves. I may also print off some boxes of generic groceries and such like, but I really need to decide what I want the shop to stock apart from vegetables, and then I can make it. Yes, definitely need to do that. I did, however, find one thing that I'm going to include, and that is this little tiny wooden crate that has got tiny seed packets in. So all those are little tiny seed packets, and I thought that will make a nice little bit to stick on the end of somewhere, and I think would be very much in keeping with the idea of this store. So, more progress, and I'm going to stop filming now before I have a complete and utter coughing fit. In light of how much I'm still coughing, I decided that I'm going to end this video. So I've pulled together the bits that I've done. Obviously there's also the bit on the treehouse, but I'm not trying to get that into shot. And whilst my desk is still far from tidy, it is tidier, and I can actually see some of the desk, which is a bonus. So I'm going to consider this a win. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, comment and subscribe. It all helps my channel. And consider ringing that notification bell, because then YouTube will tell you when my videos go up, which at the moment even I don't know. So yeah, good luck on that one. But until next time, bye.